Greetings, this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth, and I wanted to go ahead and show you the beauty of this right now. The tide is on its way out right now. Actually, I think I might have that wrong. I'm not real sure. The last high or low tide was 2 hours and 15 minutes ago. So we'll see what it is. It'll show us. It'll be a good exercise in analytical, critical thinking. So I can say what I believe is going to happen, and then we will actually see what that is. The sun should appear any time now. Please notice the beautiful reflection of the sea level liquid mirror that's right in front of us. We've got two recordings going on. One with an iPhone 10 and surround sound. Should have less wind disturbance with this, and then a P1000 recording as well. This is the point in Cherry Grove, South Carolina, and we should see the beauty of the sunrise any moment now. Good morning. I forgot to notice whether the tide was rising or falling. It's going out. Very good, thanks. That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure I had it right though. All the mystery would be solved in a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did well. How did you do at home? Yeah. Did you get much flooding? Good, good. Yeah, it wasn't just... Yeah. Oh, you had 70-mile-an-hour gusts? Could feel some movement there. Wow. Well, I'm glad you did okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could have been a lot worse. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much. Well, good to see you. You'll be on. You'll be able to... Good stuff like that with pictures of that for other people. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I love sharing the beauty of this with anybody who wants to see it. Alrighty, good to see you all again. So yesterday I did a high and low tide recording out here, and you can see that. If you want to see the chronological posts of my videos, quite often they'll be in the videos category. I typically will add them to my liked video playlist, and sometimes I rotate them around a bit. So that's kind of how that happens. And the liked video playlist has over 2,975 videos, I believe, right now. I'll probably be adding some more today, including these two or three that I record. I met a fascinating gentleman this morning. I gave myself enough time to get fuel, and it was a wonderful meeting Rick today. And Steve and his wife here out on the beach. It's amazing the wonderful relationships that I end up developing doing what I get to do here. I'm going to zoom in on an individual that is probably can't see with the P1000 or the iPhone, but I'll show you with the P1000. Standing on a high spot there. I think I might just be able to see or show you yeah, there it is, the sailboat that washed up a couple years ago and filled up with sand and water. So we've got the wind coming in from the ocean right now, coming out of the south at about, that's coming from the southwest, feels like about 7 to 10 miles an hour. Hey, good morning. So part of what I'm going to do is just move around here a little bit and show you the mirror that this is. Of course, higher is drier and lighter color. Let me just set that down and show you how it's gently blowing in, and we're towards well, I should say the tide is going out. It's obvious to see that. It's a little bit easier to set up out here when that's happening. North Carolina is just a couple miles north of here, towards the middle of the view. So since I've got two recording devices, I'll explain it like this. The sun in the summertime typically will come up in the middle of the view, and in the wintertime will come up in the middle of the view over there. You can see that on my videos if you care to. A pelican doesn't mind hanging out with some other bird varieties, other breeds of bird. So the truth is not determined by popular opinion. It's not popular, and it's not an opinion, it's just the truth. So to apply analytical, deductive reasoning, critical thinking, and a desire to know the truth, I simply want to help explain some of that. There's the truth, which I believe is the reality, and then there's a false reality and deception that much of humanity is believing. By irony and paradox, we don't know what we don't know. It's just the way it is. I've got beautiful captures of the sun appearing in the midst of the clouds. I had a call this morning, kind of interesting. I was up for over a half hour getting ready for today. The call came in at precisely 3:33 Eastern Standard Time. High tide yesterday, actually moonrise was 3:33 Eastern Standard Time PM. The call I got today was AM. Evidently they wanted to send me some kind of a message. Well, I'm sending some kind of a message too out here today. Oh, there's the sun right there. I'll zoom in on that and show you. Job 37 states that the sun is in the midst of the clouds. You can explore that if you want to. The reason why this matters, the shape of the earth, is the biblical proclamation is accurate, is the reality of the world that we live in. So, is the Bible a science book? It is for me. I've never found it to be wrong, ever. What I notice with creation has been proclaimed in Scripture. So that's part of why I do this, is because as a biblical creationist that's actually born again at this time, I want people to be aware of the reality of Scripture. The proclamation of the Bible is that the earth does not move. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? I hope not, because the earth isn't moving. You might have something else going on. I don't know. So when the tide is going out, one of the things that we can do, just to unpack this a little bit, is can walk out to what would otherwise be a potentially fatal location. With the tide going out, we know we'll be able to see more surface to walk on safely. When the tide is coming in, it can be a bit mysterious. I remember the first time I was out here, first time I was out in the middle where the water gets deepest, or close to where it gets deepest. And I was doing a Bible recording. And I didn't know how fast the water was going to come in. Was it going to be like a tsunami or gently coming in like this? Like we're watching the water go back and forth here. So it was all very interesting to me at that time. Still is. I remember when I saw it happening, thinking this is going to be my outreach to this world from this location, and largely it has been. To show the beauty and majesty of creation and proclaim the truth is a powerful reality and privilege. So that's why I do this. So not only does the Bible say the earth doesn't move to get our daylight and night times it's the sun, moon, and stars that move above the stationary and level Earth. Keep in mind there would be no level anywhere on an Earth that was moving. So typically concrete is poured to be level unless it's a driveway apron. So I'm just going to back up a little bit and show you a little bit of how the change occurs and what you're able to see when I drop it down close to the sand, the surface. Obviously we can see more reflection. One of my recordings yesterday I was talking about critical analysis and the law of non-contradiction. I just hashtagged non-contradiction. You can look at that if you care to. Two opposing views can't, if one of them is true, I should say, when there are two opposing views, they can't both be true or correct. However, they could both be wrong. Therein lies the challenge. I believe it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. So the Prince Pier is on the other side of this pier, or the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier, and that is the Prince Resort right there in the middle of the view. So the P1000 recording is going to be about a 27-minute video or so, and it'll have zoomed in views of the beauty out here, boats and people far away. And you can compare it to the iPhone 10 recording that will show you an unzoomed in, or just pretty much the way it looks out there. without much magnification. I may zoom in on something from time to time. Like for example, I'll show you the shrimp boat. This is roughly, I believe, 10 times magnification. And I recently zoomed in on that for the P1000. The Nikon Coolpix P1000 will zoom in 125 times. So I've got video and photos of moon craters and that, a lot of high definition. I'm recording it with 30 frames per second, 1080p. To zoom in and out, works best to leave on the auto feature for that. I would just not be able to manual focus as good as the camera can. And for most of the photography that I do, it's recorded with the auto feature. It does a great job. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in where the boat goes through the breakwater there. So we have buoyancy clearly being displayed here in front of us. Lighter than, less dense than the media around it allows it to float. The boat will drop through the water, or through the air, I mean, and then float in the water. The birds are a better example of that. They'll fly through the air. If they stop soaring and put their wings in, they'll just fall right down. But then they'll float on the water. The boat that I mentioned earlier, I will show again, the sailboat that ran aground, and then the pelicans right there too. I was hoping to see the sun blast through on this first recording. I'll probably show it during the next recording with the P1000. We're expecting, I should say last year we had about 20 million guests here in the Myrtle Beach Grand Strand area. Being that it's September 8th, we've had a good amount of our annual guests show up for this year. reality exposes the truth, much of the truth and evidence that's in the Bible of the proclamation of the world that we live in. And that is largely why I show it and talk about it. Feel free to call me anytime. My phone number is 1-843-504-1776. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. I'm going to start another video so you can see the beauty of this continued.